यस्तो आउँदो रहेछ
लक रहेछ नि लक यहाँ खोल्यो
यो खोल्यो
Just taking it away from the right-hander.
यो खोलेपछि बन्द
Ball's a good length as well, makes it very difficult.
लाइभ जान्दैन यस्तो रहेछ लाइभ गइरहेछ कि छैन छैन नि है यस्तो आउँदो रहेछ यस्तो गरेर चाहिँ जान्छ लाइभ निजिन टोको त त्यो निजिन त खोलिकन
त्यहाँ हानिदिएन ओमनले चाहिँ हानिदिन्छ आवाजै हारायो
ओमनलाई हान्यो हाम्रो नेपालले तिम्रोबाट दियो न बाहिर निस्केर हानेछ
But just got enough to get it over that boundary rope.
Still,
You can be as defensive as you want.
यति राख्यो भन्दा फेरि राम्रो हुँदैन नि यस्तो अड्किँदो रहेछ नि त्यहाँ पनि अड्किन्छ कि यहाँ मात्र अड्कियो
मेरो त प्ले भएन
And we might also have a lost ball. Kalimullah, I don't think he'd want that ball change the movement that he was getting. But it's smart thinking from...
नेपालको म्याच देखाउनु लागेको अब गाह्रो छ यहाँ देखाउनुलाई रोटेसनमा आउँछ कि आउँदैन छ हेर्नु त तपाईहरुले
Yeah, that's really shocking, man. And he was really allowed to do that in the 50-over series, wasn't he? Challenging him. He's going to have to get a little bit creative here. The shot's not coming off as well as they would have liked, and it is going to be a different ball. Seems like the other one's taking a bit of a beating. Not quite sure where it landed after it went over the ropes here. And the other thing of note, Manali, if you look at the first slip, it's no longer Fayaz Butt. Zishan Maksud now in that first slip, so they've made that change. Fayaz Butt now at mid-on. Well, cut away this time, and it may not run away to the boundary. A lot of ground covered. Fielder at fine leg, does well. Anticipate they're going to be coming out in some numbers today. It is a Sunday, and it's a beautiful day as well. Nice weather, light. Here, what a beautiful day for cricket this is. I'll tell you, Manali, dear Mike. You saliva on the ball, so you didn't have to worry about shining the ball with your sweat. So it's all good. But again, Fayaz, but having another word with the umpire there about the ball. It doesn't look they're happy with this. But you saw what when Anil Shah came down the track, Kalimullah had to adjust his length, and that brought the run scoring opportunity on the offside. The cut shot came in. Making sure that you're out there for long enough. And smart cricket, they've picked up the maximum. Then 2 runs.
certainly they've got 7 or 9 runs coming off this over so far. When you have a look, the no frills towels, no frills T20 cup. Not just wiping off the sweat, we're getting some shade for the fans there as well. So shout out to our title sponsor.
Down.
Yeah, get some shade from the no frills towel, and then get yourself refreshed. Score 90 for no loss after 3 overs.
At our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's the no frills thing to do.
Well, 3 overs in, 19 runs on the board. This is a decent start. Pretty even Stevens, though, I think, from both sides. I think Oman are just going to be a little bit upset that they've not picked up that wicket. Chance on offer and put down. Shakil Ahmed to continue.
They're going to persist with the left arm spin of Shakil Ahmed. I did see Fayaz Butt warming up. He might be taking over the Kalingala on the other end.
Well, he's gone for the sweep. This has gone up in the air. Chance.
Put
And
down.
it's been put down. That is 2
Thank
catches
you.
that have now gone down.
Yeah, and it looks like it's the new man that's just come in for this game, Khalid Kale.
आज अलिकति एग्रेसिभ देखाउँदैछ त
He just didn't look like he was taking it at any point. No balance in that whatsoever. We'll have another look. Anil Shah.
स्पिनर त पड्काउनुपर्छ
Boundaries are the larger boundaries. Taking on that Khalid Kale. Just not able to make the ground. Got 2 hands on it, but just was in no position to take that catch.
It's falling over before the ball. And so
Be key in this game. We know Nepal will be well in the field.
so important to hold on to those catches when they come your way.
Four to square.
Defense for good reason. Decent. Oh, he's gone for the. $28 for no loss.
We said give those Nepali fans something to cheer about. They're definitely cheering right now. You can hear the Nepali music in the background. Give the Nepali fans something to cheer about there. Asif Sheikh. I was about to say, you can't get bogged down. Into the over. 9 runs coming off of it. Asif Sheikh joining the party. And it'll be a bowling change, Manali. We saw him warming up. Fayaz Butt into the attack now.
You're a bowler in your prime days. And not very
Saying
nice.
I'm not in my prime now, Manali?
I absolutely am, yes. I think You know it too. Well, pushed into the offside. Slightly uppish as well. They're quick between the wickets. The Nepalese, they're very sharp when it comes to testing the fielders. You know all about having chances put down off your bowling. How about getting hit for a 6 on the last ball of a decent over?
Yeah, well, the spinners, I don't know how the spinners deal with it. They get hit a lot more than us fast bowlers. And I'm being courteous to myself. I was never a fast bowler. Probably slow more than anything else.
No, but definitely feisty.
Definitely. I was talking to your husband, and he was talking about how he used to hit me all around the ground, so I wasn't too happy with him. I'll be having to chat with him later on when I have a little bit more time, and you're not around, so I can tell him how I really feel.
Playing.
Yeah, he's. I'm well past my prime. But I'll tell you what, Fayaz Butt reminds me a lot of myself. He never looks like he's 100%. You always see him walk, and you always think there's something going on there. But he puts in 100% effort. And I was like, man, I always had back problems, knee problems, ankle problems, and it never looks like, but he just always is up for the fight, always up and puts 110% in for his country and his team. A brilliant warrior for Fayaz Butt. He would have been disappointed with that drop catch. He's going to want to make up for it here.
Well, it's gone straight down the ground. There's no chance for mid-off or mid-on. Good batting this. They're targeting safe areas. Anil Shah has just picked up a boundary to himself.
Yeah, Anil Shah targeting the straight down the ground. As we mentioned, that's a short boundary. Back of a length from Fayaz Butt, not the length that you're looking for on this wicket. He's just telling himself there to get that forward. Anil Shah, he's starting to get into his groove now. It's a brilliant shot down the ground.
It's a tough job being a fast bowler. I mentioned it, a lot of injuries, everything from shoulders down to your feet.
मेरे YouTube पर लाइव लाऊंगा इसे तो खोल
This time goes leg side and it's another gap.
आज तो नेपाल पढ़ाऊँ बस
Force for Anil Shah.
शाबाश नेपाल ले आज राम में खोल दे
Completely taking on the offensive right now.
ये
Fayaz struggling to find his length of this. From hit, Anil Shah just waiting on length. Back one previous delivery, full of length on this time, and this one just goes over mid wicket.
Number 3
Number 2 plenty of gaps out there if you can beat the inner ring.
11 बजे सुबह
Much better control with the bats for Nepal compared to yesterday against Canada. And as we see that, drop into that cow corner.
International match हो यो के हो खोले बोल्दैन हो यसरी
There's a mid-wicket fielder as well.
country कहाँ से है सर
Coming on the boundary.
country का सोनी इंडिया में अरब गाँव का बोलते हैं
And good contest this between batter and bowler.
1 किलोमीटर नहीं हो
You can hear that grunt from Fayaz Butt as he passed the bowler there.
सीमा कर दिया
As he passed the umpire there, sorry, in his delivery stride. A
That's an
little bit of extra in that. He
आज
wasn't too
ग्राउन्ड
happy
को
with
पुनः
his
गर्ने
place.
बनाओ भन्दै थियो ग्राउन्ड त आवडे रहेछ
Yeah, too happy getting hit
उनीहरु
back.
सोचे सुने गराएको थियो पञ्चदरहरुले
That little bit of extra
ए
effort.
बनाऊ अब खेल्ने हो त बनाऊ
Shake
बस
away from Anil Shah.
सब क्लियर छ भने बनाऊ भन्दै
This is a good start.
हम भी साथ देंगे हम लोगों को
Today they really have put in the hard yards. Good balance between
तर
being
ग्राउन्ड चाहिँ
aggressive
खतम छ
and
फेरि
being
कहाँ
smart.
बनाउने त्यो ठाउँमा त यस्तो सब हेरिरहेको हैन खतम
Just missing that outside edge. Get movement
India,
on
tak ada ni.
offer. And it's going to be
सब
again
पानी
over
बिच बिच
38
पानी पछि के
for no
बिच बिचमा
loss.
ढुङ्गा त्यहाँ राम्रो हुँदैन त्यो पुरानो खाले चाहिँ हामीले सुन्थ्यौँ त्यहाँ पिच बनाएको थियो त्यो चाहिँ राम्रो रहेछ बरु
तेस्रोमा
Because we believe
यो मेरो
needs more cricket.
डिलिट
TD, ready for you.
keep on keep
अब डोन फेरि सोनीमा के आउँदैछ त्यो अस्ट्रेलियाको
The bowling, the big Cali mullet.
त्यो खेलेको छैन अहिले
Easier chance, I felt, deep mid wicket.
Hello.
Cali Tail never got into any kind of position to hold on. As Ishan Maksud comes into the attack.
किन सबै खिया गर्दा हो
Andrew Leonard joining you here. Delighted to have Matt Potter with us again
Maksud
today.
Leo.
The former NBA player who's very much enjoying his first taste of international cricket. Is that fair to say?
Definitely fair to say.
पहिले त हेरेको छैन चाहिँ को खोइ हेर्नु भने एउटै छैन चाहिँ के हो
Yesterday's exciting
अहिले आउँछ एकछिन पछि
against Team
खतरा
Canada,
भइस
Team Nepal, and
राम्रोसँग त्यो रोटेसन गर्न मिल्दैन क्या
in this
त्यो रोटेसन
format,
चाहिँ नयाँ दिइसक्यो त
every play counts, every play matters. Every
लाइभमा
play
रोटेसन
can
कहाँ
be
हुन्छ त हुँदैन
winning and losing. It's all about
Live
efficiency
motivation
and
हुँदैन
execution.
हुँदैन
And you mentioned those 2 drops. You just can't have that. You know, Oman's going to be kicking themselves if it comes down to the end. They're going to look back at those 2 drops.
यो लुगा ठिक छैन
Now another chance. And the keeper
पुरानो लुगा ठिक
should
छैन
take this. He nestles underneath it and he does hold
यो
on.
के भने
I think at the
गर्नु
very
अर्डर
Zishan
Go
Maxim is a
go
difficult
Mitchell.
bowler to get down the pitch to because
Get
he's
us a
very, very
big
clever.
value
He
of
just
practice
holds it
series.
back. And Sa, with that kind of languid, wristy style that he has, he was looking to hit straight down the ground, where it's shortest, but instead it just went miles up in the air. Easy catch when he got the gloves on for the keeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Simple play. We saw them doing dozens of reps with that same very catch in their pregame warm-up. So, I mean, that's the equivalent of a layup in basketball, right?
Well, if you can't catch this, you know, you're probably struggling. It's just the way in which he gets that ball to dip, so it's difficult to get down the track to him. At the day they communication immediately that he would be the one that holds on to the catch. That is first wicket to fall. It ends that opening partnership. The score, it's 39 for 1.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Tea Burger. Juicy grass-fed beef topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips. Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Tea Burger. Let's go.
So, Lenny, we saw in both matches in the
Something
series,
is wrong
the team
this
that won
time.
the toss,
के अझै त्यो
the ball
लोकेसन झ्याएको राखेन होला नि
Is that a typical strategy across all
झ्याएको
formats
लोकेसन
of
राखेन
cricket?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly in the T20 format recently.
यसमा
So it's very much more to know what they're chasing
एपालाई
and
के दिइसकेको छ सिक्यो दिइसकेको छ र
facilities.
यो भन्दा
This
अगाडि
time of
चल्दै
year
थियो
as well.
डिपेन्ड कटिङ भएर चाहिँ
You know, so it's a long time back. You know, you have that little bit of moisture
डिपेन्ड फेरि
early,
यहाँबाट
12 o'clock start.
यो भित्रबाट
So you wait, kind of put your hands across the pitch, the playing surface, you can still feel a little bit of coldness, a bit of dampness. So any of the assistance you get from the new ball will be earlier in the day. And then as the sun hopefully bakes that pitch out, it should get easier to bat on. That's the theory. The problem for Nepal was yesterday they weren't able to execute that plan.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue it's harder to feel it when it's wet, though. You slip and sliding out there a little bit, no?
A little bit of that, but really the feeling, even though it's critical, you know, what the ball is doing to the batter is the most important thing. Is the slip's just going to come out of play here now. Final
नम्बर
ball,
हाल्यो
power
भने
play.
यो कोड झ्याएर आउँदैन रहेछ सिकेको आउँछ
इमेल आइहाल्यो भने चाहिँ
Steph Canal can't get off the mark. What an over from Zishan Maxud. He's closer to 40 than he is to 30. Let's put it that way. With 6 bowled, it's 39 for 1.
यो भन्यो
किन यहाँ मैले गरे जस्तो
So, Lenny, you mentioned the mental advantage of knowing what you're chasing. When I was in the contest in 2013, I was runner-up to Kyrie Irving, beat Steph Curry in the semifinals, had the high score, and had the luxury of choosing whether I wanted to go first or second in the finals against Kyrie Irving. And same thing, I chose second because I wanted to know where I needed to be. Unfortunately, Kyrie Irving caught absolute fire, and I couldn't catch him.
It's a kind of double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Exactly.
You're hoping to play good on defense, like you were saying.
Yes.
And then know what you're gonna get.
कोड
I
भयो
would have picked you again. My basketball knowledge may be
अन्त
similar to
अलिकति
yours.
6 ओभरमा 40 पुगेछ
I don't think
अनि
some good race.
But I'm sure you've heard of Steph Curry.
Of course I have, but I wouldn't have picked you just with your natural height necessarily. The bowling from Fires, but as a good three-pointer, but you were a good three-pointer.
ग्यारह हजुरले छ
I led the league one year. I was one of the old school big man 3-point shooters, which now is very common in the league, but when I was in my prime, it was kind of a new thing.
ये नंबर यही से है ना
We call them stretch bigs.
Stretch bigs.
Yeah. That was a old school stretch big, and now it's commonplace, so
What's that then?
almost every big shoots threes. Big meaning like front court, tall.
Okay, the front section of the court, yeah. This is whipped off his legs. You should think of a couple, even though it's the shorter side of the ground, and he will get there. Good piece of athletic fielding, one arm and throw to get off the mark for Dev Canal.
Nice hustle there.
ये जो मतलब ये खोलने नहीं हो भी रही है पैसा थोड़ा दी रही है मैंने यहाँ से वो 10 जुलाई के इसको दे रहा हूँ 10 जुलाई में गए थे 10 जुलाई ओ यहाँ खोलने नहीं हो
किन
खोलने नहीं कि मैं पैसा थोड़ा दी को नहीं दे
अच्छा यार ठुलो से खोल्दैन सर
हाँ दे भएर सोन दिसो भएर यो नि यसो भएर
कस्तो होला किन खोल्दैन
सोन दिसो भएर चाहिँ
एट्रिल एक्सट्रिम छ होला हेर्दा एट्रिल एक्सट्रिम
One of the tricks for Nepal here is gauging, given that they're on the same surface as yesterday, what a good score is going to be. We didn't think 123 was going to be a winning score. Nobody did. Even the most faithful Canadian fans. So Nepal have to readjust their sights. They have the benefit of knowing we're the same pitch as yesterday. So they might not be happy with 120, but I think 140 is actually going to be a really good score, particularly thinking about the way they bowled and fielded yesterday.
If they can duplicate that defense yesterday, I would say that's a great score.
इंडिया है तर एप्पल आईडी चाहिँ नेपाल गर्ने होला
Now this is going to be close, and yes, the finger goes up. It's maybe kept a little low. I have to say, it's possibly not the greatest shot. He's come right across the line. A big hack across the line. It skids on, keeps it low. The only question for the umpire will it be has it scored the line or not. It's definitely wrong. Hit the stumps.
यसमा वाइफाई फेरि त्यो खुलेको छैन के अरे VPN
जो कुन चाहिँ हो
Oh, for sure. That was definitely going to hit the wicket.
Going to go on and probably smash into off stumps. So Dev Canal's promotion to number 3, just his second T20I, that has not worked. And if I strikes, the second wicket falls.
नेपालको बनाएर होला यहाँ हेर्दैन तिमीले अनि म्याचहरू
कहाँ हिरो अस्ति गयो नि एउटा
तिमीले चेन्ज गरेर होला नि एप्पल आइडी
के गरेन भने के गरेन त्यही हो त
त्यही हो
यो त नि मेरो दावा त
अनि कि त्यसमा एड्रेस हुन्छ कि एड्रेस चाहिँ तिमीले क्यान कनेक्ट भन्ने के
खेल्यो होइन आएको खेल्नलाई
होइन अहिले चाहिँ अहिले पानी परेको
Kushal Mala to the crease.
Kushal Mala
just watches that one through. Gets it to the end of the 7th over. And the score is 42 for 5. Warm welcome along to the commentary box. Andrew Leonard here alongside the former NBA star Matt Bonner. Matt, great to have you with us. Got something for you here. Actually, got 2 things for you. Okay. You've heard my nickname, haven't you, in Nepal?
I have. That's something to do with
yeah, the Taklu Dai.
Yes.
I love the nickname Taklu Dai. So that means bald elder brother. So we've got to thank Sujan Shrestha for this one. He says that we've got to give Matt a nickname because we know he's really enjoying Nepal. So you are officially now the Lambu Dai, which is the very tall giant elder brother. I'm going to show you one more thing as well. This is what we call I'm going to ask you very quickly. Take your headset off. We're going to see if this Dakatopi is going to fit Matt Bonner. Let's have a look. I can barely get up there. Let's get a look. Oh, got to open that out. And what about that? What do you reckon? You have to bend down to show people. There you go. How good is that? And looks, I tell you, give a namaste as well. We'll give a namaste. We're struggling to get the headset on over.
I'm gonna adjust. Figure out how do I work.
How do you do that?
What's it called one more time?
Get one more look. There it is. So you are that's the Dakatopi.
Dakatopi.
And you're the Lambu Dai then.
The Lambu Dai.
Lambu
I'm
Dai.
gonna have to add it to my Instagram profile. Red Mamba, Red Rocket, and Lambu Dai. Got it.
We gotta love the Lambu Dai. So that were they your playing nicknames when you were playing? That was you had kind of two very specific nicknames.
I did.
Red was it Red Rocket?
Yep. Red Rocket was my nickname when I played here for the Toronto Raptors. It was because
नेपालमा यिनीहरू चल्दैन
I have red
सोनी
hair.
न्युज यो चल्दैन
And B, I
TV
did
based
not
also.
take the trains in the TTC.
Hold on a
You
second.
were
You were
playing
playing in the
सोनी
NBA
न्युज आउँछ त
and you didn't have a car.
No
TV
problem.
च्यानलमा
Look, Toronto's a big city, great public transit system. Parking's a pain.
क्यानाडाबाट खतरा टिम हो
Insurance.
This was by choice, you're telling me.
आज त ओमन हो
It improved
You Oman
my
ho,
life.
I
I didn't have kids. I was younger.
Man,
My family.
I took an immediate liking to you when I first time I met you, but I adore you now. You're a man of the people.
Thank you. I mean, the traffic in Toronto, who wants to drive in that if you don't have to?
You don't have the
है
Tyreek Hill Lamborghini.
यसमा चल्दैन फेरि
No, you're straight in.
यो
I just want to get from point A to point B.
पैसा मलाई धेरै
Well, look, what do you think of the nickname, the Lambu Dai?
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
It
Isn't
has
it?
a ring to it.
There's also it's a huge culture of respect in Nepal. Life is all about respect, particularly to your
Lambu
elders.
Dai-less.
So what you'll hear
Yeah,
in
you got it?
you'll hear during post-game shows.
यसमा तिनीहरूको हुन्छ
Older players in the team, even though he's captain, he'll say, well, Karen Casey died, Sampal died, bowled brilliantly, you know, and
I love that.
it's really nice, isn't it? A big part of their culture, and they're a very proud nation. And rightly so, it's the most beautiful country. We're all shocked with the images and catastrophes that have occurred, particularly in the valley, but also in the more rural regions of the country. We heard Rob Powell talking about his thoughts and prayers being with all of them, and all of ours are too. But it's great to have you now engaged in a bit of Nepali culture.
91
I appreciate it. It's an honor, and definitely our hearts go out to everyone affected by the flooding in Nepal, and hoping for, you know, as speedy a recovery for the country as possible with that.
End of the 8th over, and it's 45 for 2.
너
아,
그렇죠
팔샤시 디라샤시 팔도 대샤시 니 파샤
So 8 overs gone. Nepal, they're going okay, but they are.
이 썬더에서 이겨
I've got to say, man, you know, I closely follow the Nepal side, all the associate teams, but they're in a rut. They're in a position that I think, from a confidence point of view, from definitely a little bit of mental fragility. It's been 163 days since they won an international.
이거 갖다 주셔야 되네
They played in that period. They were in great form in the ACC Premier League. Many thought that they were going to qualify for the Asia Cup again. Then they lost their final 2 games, the 2 crunch games there, going down to UAE and Hong Kong. And they were exceptional at the T20 World Cup. I'm also talking about full internationals. They did win a couple of games ago. As Rafael comes into the attack for the first time. It's going to be a wide down the leg side. But certainly, going to that World Cup where they were so good, they nearly beat South Africa.
यो वेफर चलेगा नि
Biggest upsets maybe in the history of the game. They lost by 1 run. Heartbreaker.
Yes.
I'll show you some footage actually when we come off here. Amazing game of cricket. Very nearly beat Bangladesh, who were another one of the test nations. But since then, they did have a break. 4 ODIs here, lost all 4. You could see yesterday it was a confidence thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could tell. You could see the body language. See this run up. The body language. That last diving catch. You know, it's tough in any team sport, especially with the grind that cricket seems to be. You mentioned all these different tournaments, traveling far away from home, it's so important to keep that chemistry and positivity going, regardless of the result. It's hard. I've been on basketball teams that stink, that lose a ton of games. And you just got to stick together and stick with it. Things will change if you do that. Coach Popovich, Greg Popovich,
난 그래요 네버가 아니라
यहाँ देखाएको छैन नि यहाँ देखाएन
असली को जो खेल खेला हुआ
rock with the hammer 100 times without so much.
It's eventually
Damn, no.
gonna, yeah.
But on the 101st blow, it splits in
Gimana?
half.
You just gotta keep
That's
Yang
the
baru
blow,
bisa
it's the 100 that came
Paisa
down.
ni.
paisa दिनु पर्छ
And then he has another phrase. the
Kau je
worm
paisa
will
dinu
turn.
ni bini. Paisa kan
If
dinu
you're
ni.
about the right things,
Damn no. 4-0.
eventually your fortunes will change. The worm will turn.
यो त त्यहाँबाट गरे मात्र हुन्छ
Kamera.
You
किनकि
know,
त्यहाँ
on
गुगल
Spurs,
पे
when
हाल्छ
you're
नि त्यहाँ हुन्छ नि
having tough
पेमेन्ट यहाँ
moments, tough times,
Nak kena payment.
those were the two like
Sony
foundational
Medium.
messages that would kind of get us
I was only holds out.
back on track.
What was kind of, I suppose, the longest period? Was it, you know, a 20 game streak?
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
some
it was
of the
like,
game
we were
would
really good on the Spurs when I was
म्याच
like,
चलिरहेको
we won 2 championships, we were contenders.
You mean Chalreza?
So it
Didn't have
wasn't
a
तर
long.
अहिले
It
चाहिँ
wasn't that long.
त्यो
Yeah,
पानी
maybe
परेर
it was
त्यो
like 2 to 3
Aye.
games.
How many games you play in a season? It's a lot.
HDFC बैंक में कोई बोल रहा है
Playoffs, like I said, it's
पैसा लग रहा है कि पुरानो वो अपडेट होने नहीं वाली
It's like best of 7, best of
ये
5.
पैसा ना लाने फ्री में कौन सी लगा
Big swing and a miss. Kushal Mala just continues to look a little out of form as the outside edge is beaten. Rafael,
You see it in the body language now, is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you're kind of sensing some of the body
फिर इसे
language
रैंड टू प्ले
with these two
nothing
batters.
much
Like,
update
it
much
doesn't
cover
matter, you
remain
gotta stay positive. You gotta
तपाईँ
keep
कभर 3 देश भन्दा
yeah, it's what it's all about. And I suppose the problems for Nepal haven't so much been with the ball and in the field. They've been
ये
with
तो
the
ये तो
bats.
मतलब भी
And that's the kind of the sole thing you do individually in cricket. You know, when you're bowling, you got all your teammates there who support you in the field. Your batting is just you and your partner. But really, it's about how you bat individually. As that's a big full toss. Now it's going to be a no ball. So even if this is taken, it won't be out. Both umpires immediately indicating that because this is not pitched and has gone over the waist high of the batter, it is a no ball. That's a good decision for me. Mala will get a single, but critically, as the 50 comes up, Asim Sheikh is going to get a free hit. And what that means, Matt, whatever happens here, he can't be out.
इसको लगी देखो नहीं
It's a free hit. You do what you want.
ऑफ कर रहे
Only little advantage for Rafaela is that because the batters have changed, he's allowed to
यो
change
खाली
his
होइन नि
field.
यो मात्र
So
हो
what
यो
he'll do is he'll
जेमा
set a very
लुक्न
defensive field
दुई लो छु यो होइन
Why did that happen? Did the boy just slip?
जेमा लुक्न चाहिँ
Yes, what he's doing there, he's looking
एक्सट्रिम
to
लो
hit the block
दिया
right up towards the white line.
ए इसमें कति मा
Top increase
एट
there.
एक्सट्रिम मैले
That's
3
a
महिना
very
हालेको
place to hit the
3
ball.
महिनामा त्यो
But
3
sometimes you just get that even fraction wrong, your release point. The Yorker, which is
यसमा
always
आउँछ
one that goes
Okay,
there to
केटीहरुको
a full toss.
इसमें और
And
इसमें
actually, you'll get a warning for that. People also
इसमें मेरो पैसा दिए
getting
नहीं
the
होता
attack. Here comes the free hit.
आउँछ होला यसमा
पैसा नदिने ना हो तो फ्री हो
No real time. It's a slower ball. Doesn't
July,
matter if it's
yeah.
caught. It's not a drop chance.
Oh, man,
It's not
this is
worthy.
really
Wouldn't have been out even if it was
Innovation.
caught. So one more run to the total and not too much damage done. But Rafaela, who's only come into
Oh,
this
what
squad
is
from the T20s, just battling a bit
Yeah,
of
I
seam,
like
not
that.
hitting his lengths and not bowling particularly well.
दिल्ली गर्छ
So the team that's batting,
म्याच
you know, just spatially on the field,
यहाँ हेरेको थिएँ
how much can they hear?
यहाँ त घरबाट जाँदो छैन अफन होइन
सर थाकी सुति रो मतलब
Yeah, so it really will depend on the coach and depend on kind of the setup of the team. Some of the
नेपाल
coaches are
2जना गयो
you are now allowed to.
एउटा त्यो सुन्नु पर्छ यो तो किन ट्यापिङहरु गरेर कहाँ हो
ago was that when we
त्यो
do drinks breaks, the coaches are actually now allowed to
जेरो
go out
यो
a
यो
little bit
क्यामेरा
like you would in a basketball
Type
timeout and kind of get the instructions more baked in.
पेजमा नोटमा हो
But the captain on the field, he is almost like the coach. So they've got a huge role to play. They make all the bowling changes. They decide
त्यो
who's
पनि
going
अघि
to
त्यो
bowl.
पैसा हिसाब गर्ने
They'll
कुन
consult
याद
the
गर्छ
bowler as to when they want to bowl. and the like, but really,
अस्ति त्यो बजार
someone
पैसा
actually described the captain as in
कुन
cricket
नोटबुक
as more like the kind of
No,
team
this one is
kind
not.
of manager, the team coach. It's not like in soccer or in rugby where really it's just a ceremonial thing. It's the guy who shakes hands at the start. In cricket, it's a massive role, and the difference between a good captain and a bad captain is very, very noticeable.
I can imagine. How important is it for the captain to be one of the better players on the team? Does that matter?
Edged, and it's going to be edged away for 4. Well, a spectacular effort from Pratik Atavele, but it's not a great first over from Rafaela. It goes for 10, and with 9 bowled, the score is 55 for 2.
We serve local reps
Yeah,
program,
how is that?
program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
कसरी युज गर्नु दियो
Side for a long, long time. definitely towards the autumn or the winter of his career, but still very experienced. One more look at this effort from the keeper. Great, spectacular athleticism. Look at this.
Oh, right off the fingertips. But yeah, I was talking about captains. You were saying how important
905
this sport.
9805 832
In basketball, I think it's important that the captain is like one of the best players on the team. It doesn't have to always be like that, but I think in general, like on the Spurs, we have Tim Duncan, one of the all-time legendary, probably a top 10 player all-time in basketball, and he just set the tone for everyone. The coach could coach him. He can hold everybody accountable. It's like that's an all-time legend. If he's doing X, Y, and Z, I better be doing that too.
Yeah, you better be on it with him.
Yeah,
Malin loves left arm spin. Wonder or suspect he'll take it on pretty soon, but for now he's happy to check it down for a single. In cricket, it's a little bit different because the strategy of the game is so advanced. People have described it as chess on a field. Chess in a 360-degree, massive playing field in conditions that can differ so wildly from country to country. As Sheikh goes down the ground, that's going to be 6. That's the perfect place to hit, and it's going to go all the way, 6 runs to the total.
Yep, they're going to have a hard time finding that ball.
Ming 뒤에 말이야.
Again, we got to look up what road that is back there.
We got difference
Put
to
a
the
sign,
left.
watch out for cricket balls. Look at that thing.
You can see it, brilliant ball followed by Jeremy up there on the top of the tower, and the ball is indeed
The
lost.
camera guy with the umbrella up there.
Is my you near Denzel? Huh?
That's where I think
Yes,
something
Denzel.
Nepal haven't done particularly well is target straight down the ground, because that's at this venue where you get good rewards. So again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we've got 57-meter boundary straight down the ground from the north end. There's Jeremy up there. Give us a wave, Jeremy. Come on, there you are. Great job up there, my man. And then we've got 65-meter square boundaries, so that's 65 out towards the Dufferin Street Road, so for Asif Sheikh to his leg side. And then 60 metres to the offside where the fans are, and then it's about 60 metres back up towards us at the pavilion end. But just to answer your question a bit more about the captaincy, because you need to have an advanced tactical mindset and really be thinking about the game. Sometimes the best players aren't actually particularly good captains. And sides get kind of lulled into that. They're like, oh, we've got to make him the captain because he's such a good player. But then he takes it on, and strategically he's not very good. I'm not going to name names, but there's been lots of instances of it over the years. And actually, I think for me, Oman might have maybe fallen into that trap a little bit, because Aki Bilias is probably their best player by a distance, but Zishan Maksud probably has their best cricketing brain. And Zishan Maksud was replaced as captain by Aki Bilias in April, just ahead of their World Cup appearance. So we've ended up with is maybe a little bit of a drop-off in the quality of strategical thinking from an Omani end. And I know Aki Bilias will consult with Zishan Maksud a lot, but it's a bit different. You want that one solo leader.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. I think when those two things align, it creates a synergy in that position, is all I'm saying. For sure, like if your best player doesn't have the sport IQ to execute strategies and be a leader.
And as you've seen, cricket is such a complicated game. There's so many facets to it.
Yeah.
You talk about the matchups, the left-handed bowlers, right-handed bowlers, which side of the wicket you're going to go. Whether you have fast bowler or spin bowler, you're going to bowl wrist spin or finger spin. I guess for those that get into it, that's why they find it so fascinating. And I'll tell you something, about 2 games of the they really aren't.
Until Sada opening out any.
So Mala continues to be
Burdil
cautious
बनाउनु छैन
and
Burdil
surprising. He often takes on the left-arm spinners.
किन
But
नआयो
it will get us to the halfway stage.
पछितिरबाट
Nepal have a
अस्ति त
platform.
पछितिरबाट
They
आयो
capitalise upon it. With 10 bowled, we will have the first drinks break of the first innings.
Sick
Nepal
guy,
were inserted to bat, and they've got at the halfway
10 ovरमा
stage
65
65 for 2.
हाम्रो भयो 65 त हैन हाम्रो त 80 हुन्थ्यो 10 ओभरमा
TV is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Awesome!
ड्रा हुन्छ के म्याच
TD, ready for you.
नेपाल अस्ट्रेलिया जित्छ
किन
अस्ट्रेलिया रन रेट ज्यादा भएन रन ज्यादा भएन पानी पर्ने रोकेन भने त अस्ट्रेलिया जित्छ नेपाली गीत लाउँदैछ त्यहाँ क्यानाडामा ड्रिङ्क्स भयो साथीहरू अब आज कति बनाउँछ होला स्कोर कमेन्ट्स
We've got an
गर्नुहोस्
exciting game of cricket on our hands here, don't we, Matt?
पानी कति
I
ठुलो
see
भइसक्यो
you've got your nickname as well.
पाकी चित्र
Another nickname.
Another nickname,
My
exactly.
Wikipedia is gonna be off the chain.
टाढो रे
पानी कति
And a tremendous
तम्न
honor.
छ
I
Kali
really
Daga
appreciate
Dure.
all the support
छोरी पुरा के छ
fans
छैन ग्राउन्ड बनाउनु लागि छ नि
that have been relayed to me from
बनाएको त्यो हाम्रो पुरानो जे यतापट्टि त्यो खेल्दैन त्यो
What's
त्यहाँ पानीहरू कति ठुलो
I don't want to mispronounce it. I don't want to
ग्राउन्ड
mispronounce
बनाउनुको
it.
लागि
Lambu
छैन
Dai, right?
Yeah, my
यहाँ नि गएको
Lambu Dai, that makes sense.
Arabi Dai.
Because Lambu's tall,
नेपाल जाला
tall brother.
I'm glad I asked because I'm Red Mamba. Kobe Bryant gave me the nickname Red Mamba, so I was thinking Mambu, but it's
फलफल किन नि आज
कलरले
16
Different regions altogether.
किन गरौँ यो चाहिँ
That's the amazing thing about cricket and
mother.
sport in general, isn't it? There's just so many cultures.
73
that
80,000
come
थियो
across
73
completely
7,000 चाहिँ
internationally.
एचडिएफसी ब्याङ्कको
I know
त्यो
you
ओभर
played.
सुल त स्ट्रेस
मजाउँदै नि
छ अहिले छ
छ नि
मलाई पनि पाउँछ
हँ
नदे आइपुग्यो अरे
पाउँछ नि किन
I
पाउँदैन
love what
अफर
Emmy's
भयो
doing
त्यो
in
पाउँछ
terms of growing the
एचडिएफसी
sport.
आइसिसी
It's
पाउँछ
lovely.
नि
एसडिएफसी अरे
I don't actually remember her name, but she
By the
works
way,
with the
the
NBA currently.
MacBook
She's
in
also
there,
involved with the Toronto Raptors. She
In
helps
there,
with the development of the game globally. You may or may not know
Still
her, but when the
don't
name
know.
comes to me, I'll
के
let you
फरक
know.
छैन त एउटै हो
okay. Is it Teresa?
It could be.
Yeah.
She's
सिमला नि अरे
Yes.
yes,
She used
yes.
to work for actually
Papa
NBA
yeah, they
National
did.
Operations
It's
with my
cool.
sister, and then came over to the Raptors.
गाउँको
Yeah,
गरेर
spent a
सेम
lot of
बनाइदिन्छ
time here in
सेम
Canada
गाउँ
and all over
पहिला
the world.
पुरानो हाम्रो यस्तो
It's
थियो
really become a
सेम थियो
global
जाडोमा
game.
चाहिँ जाडो
Look
भएन
at
नि यसले
how many
सेम
international
यस्तो थियो
players
पहिलाको त्यो पछि चाहिँ ढुङ्गा अरे त्यो
and
पछि
how
फेरि
many
जस्तो हालेको
have
कसो
won
पहिला फर्स्टमा म
MVPs, made
म
all-star
सानोदेखि हाम्रो गाउँ यस्तै थियो
It's translated
कि यस्तो यो
into
यस्तो
FIBA,
थियो
which is the international governing
Yes.
body
Chale.
of baseball.
चले सुम्ने अनि यो नि
World
त्यस्तै
Cup
थियो
to the
पहिला
Olympics. It's
फास्ट
exciting. It used to be like, for sure, the U.S. is just going to blow
पछि
everybody
चाहिँ
out. Now it's not like
के
that
अरे
anymore.
ढुङ्गा बसेको ढुङ्गा
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how cricket
पछि चाहिँ फेरि
evolves
जस्तो
over the
बनाएको
years.
हाम्रो चाहिँ ढुङ्गाले चाहिएको हुँदैन
यिनीहरू चाहिँ फेरि भत्केको छैन नि त्यो छाना मात्र त्यसो गरेको कि
America,
पछि पछि चाहिँ के हो भने
mentioned
फेरि
this
भत्काएर फेरि
podcast
बनाएन
in the spotlight here.
एउटामा सस्तो सस्तो रहेछ त सबैले जानुभयो
It's Akib Ilyas, the skipper.
यहाँ
He's gonna come
almost
in
हर
with the
चीज
ball.
MRP से up to 50% डिस्काउंट
50%
हुई है।
discount.
सस्ती शिमला क्रॉसिंग के साथ एमसी पार्किंग के
honestly,
7th फ्लोर में लोकेटेड है डिस्काउंट बहुत
जानुपर्ने कि है
The
50% खतरा हो त
conceived
बस
notion
बस
of cricket
त्यसलाई कागज जस्तो
to the average sports fan in North
Think
America is
India
like,
don't
well, I'm not going to watch it for a whole day or 2 days or 3 days. So this format, I think, is huge.
सरी गाइस वाइफाई गयो
Cut away, and it is in the gap. There's some work to do for both fielders. Just the outfield, a little
यस्तो
heavy
आउटफिल
there.
स्लो रहेछ
Out भयो
Slowing down.
आउटफिल स्लो
2
के
feet short of the boundary.
अब यहाँबाट
It's
जानुपर्छ मेरो
changed quite a bit in the last decade or so.
त्यो ढुङ्गो भएको छ त्यो ढुङ्गो भएको छ
आजभोलि बत्ती जाँदैछ के अचम्म
एकछिनमा कहिले जान्छ नि धेरै बेला जानु
यस्तो के हो
और हमने प्रॉफिट
ताकत नै छैन कि यस्तो क्याच जाने खालको
हान त हाने खतरा अलिक सर्टले खतरा हाने ग्राउन्डमा भरे कटा
म सकेको त
उठाउने इजले खतरा छ कि त्यो दामी उठाइदिन्छ है उठाउने चाहिँ
ठ्याङ्गी
पप्पड पप्पड उठाउँछ कि त्यसले चाहिँ है
पुरा दुईचोटि बाहिर पुऱ्याइदियो त्यसले त
उडायो भने चाहिँ खतरा उडाउँछ चाहिँ दामी उडाउँछ
खडा खडा खेल्दैछ नि
दामी तल हान्दैछ नि
सर्ट पिस आयो
अरे क्या मजाले उडाइदिन्छ त्यस्तो पो हाल्नुपर्छ खतरा है
तम्बा
नेट त चाहिँ सेम त रहेछ त हाम्रो
नेट त यस्तै त्यहाँदेखि यो वेबसाइट एकदम लोड सूक्ष्म रहेछ नि तान्नु पनि मान्दैन रहेछ
यो वाइसबाट एउटै हेरेको त्यो एप्स होइन यो
एप्स होइन
गुगलको भित्र 이거 좀 어디 사는 거래 우리들이 끼리 사무는 되는 거. 누들 이기는 거래요. 사이즈 봐야네.
주단이 된대가 봐. 직다 동서. 되게 되나 배하고도.
아? 디테?
되게 되나.
सब ठकुन से जरा बस भाई दिखी थी लोगों को करो है ना कि बोला था और जो तार कोई मन बोले थे
날로 올리게.
사과들 보이
주다.
어디 가더라 맞지 모르지
내가 내가 고무 숨동기를 써. 고무 직동 개개라.
दिखी थी नहीं TV से लाया दिया मौसम में
되게 되나 단다 오퍼를
sorry
60% off offer.
GB आना दिया 근데 जूता ये ना शूज कोई 근데 इस पर हुआ कोई ये हम से
다 트래킹 거지다.
सारा दर कर सका ऊपर से ट्रैकिंग हो ये सोचा है ये मालूम
건강한 거.
굉장히 공감하고 라이로 쓰는
어떤 말이겠네요.
몽골은 이거 완전 뭐 아그로
되게 되는 건 기울어요.
이거 되게 얘네도 되네 그래서 프로 호비지라 있어서
So the full members fill up quite a few of the spots, and then you've got the associates who then fill up the rest of them, and the hosting country will get the rest of the spots. But what it means is, it is incredible, especially for the associate players who've now gotten the exposure to play with and against high-level athletes, some of the best in the world. It's actually upped the game of the associate world altogether.
I bet.
And the other thing that T20 cricket's allowed is it's just expanded into a lot of countries that you wouldn't have necessarily seen cricket in. Oh dear, that's going to go down as a missed chance. Cut away, upish. And really a half attempt there at a catch. Just needed half an inch more of a jump, and I think he would have been in contention of that wicket.
Yeah, it looked like he let up a little bit. Like he could have gone after a little bit harder. I mean, that's the third one they probably should have caught that we've seen so far this match.
뭐야
They have not done themselves favors here, Oman, in the field. Two definite drop catches. That one I'm going to call a drop catch as well. 3 chances put down in this innings so far. And you really have to take these chances at this level of the game. Swept and swept all the way. That's 6 runs. In fact, it's going over that fence in the deep. It is a party here, and the Nepalese fans are enjoying the show that their players are putting on.
Yeah, they're heating up. Took out the no-frills tent there. Don't you want to make the sponsors mad? Incredible angle here. We haven't seen many like this with that distance. Just gets down. Up over the fans into the no-frills tent.
Well, slog swept beautifully by Kushal Mala. Finish with the dot ball. It's going to be the end of the 12th, 85 for 3.
12 ओवर खत्म 85 आज अलिकति रन बनायो
All new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
We'll take a quick look at the Nepal batting parcel. Fortunate for him to not be out there, short stay, but all in all, a better start with the bat today for Nepal. They've really navigated this first innings well, tried to keep their wickets in hand while scoring runs. We have seen some lusty blows around the ground.
We have. And if yesterday was any indication, you don't need to score a ton of runs. if it's going to be a similar trajectory with the way the pitch is playing, especially if Nepal can duplicate that defensive performance they put on yesterday. So it's nice to see them heating up, giving themselves a chance here.
Flighted, and this might be another one. It is! Straight down the ground, and an easy catch. In the deep does the work. Yep. And this is going to be the 4th wicket for Nepal.
Yeah,
it's the skipper.
Well hit ball, just perfect positioning on defense. You mentioned that chess match where you put your players out there in the field. Right time, hardly had to move a foot.
Well, he's going to feel that he missed out on this on Roy Podell. It was in the slot. It was there to hit. Just didn't get the elevation in the distance. He's gone for 2 of 5 deliveries. It's a short stay for the skipper today. Skipper on skipper, and Oman skipper comes out on top. Akibelias picks up the wicket. Nepal 85 for 4 after 12.2.
Bortel आया कुशल Bortel.
Bortel comes out to the middle. Pitch kind of a little bit better than it did yesterday. The ball was just a bit too paced yesterday, holding up in the pitch. Not coming on as well. The spinner's definitely getting some return off it. Today it's a little bit easier.
You hear the communication for the Oman team.
Kushal Bortel का spin खेलना होगा ना.
And we'll start with a dot ball to Kushal Bortel.
एक बॉल डॉट गया, एक बॉल में आउट भाई, ये बॉल डॉट भाई, तीन बॉल डॉट खंजा इस तरह डाले तो बने ना नहीं.
Absolutely, I'm all in.
आउने बित्तिकै स्टॉप गर्छ भनेर आउँदछ.
It's quite multifaceted, isn't it? Compared to what an outsider might think of it. I get it all the time when they hear cricket.
अब कुशल मलाई हान्दै यसको एउटा बल. दुई बल बाँकी छ, दुईटा छक्का.
Exactly.
कहाँ हान्छ फट?
हान्नुपर्छ नि, हानेपछि त जोडले हान्नुपर्छ क्या.
Now I can tell all my friends, all my basketball friends, like, listen, it's not always like that. Check out this T20 series.
लामो हान्नु पर्यो, लामो.
This is smart cricket. Working the ball around, waiting for the loose delivery. And what's been very impressive from the Nepal batters today is despite the fall of wickets, they've kept the runs coming. Just smarter with their approach.
दुई विकेट लिएछ यो मान्छेले एकखेप ल्याएछ भने 7 रन मात्र दिएर छक्का हान्नु.
But I think if they can get close to the 140 mark, they're going to feel comfortable here in Nepal. Yeah. Give themselves something to defend.
I agree.
It's going to be the end of the 13th. Nepal 88 for 4.
मेरो एउटा सानो
कोलम्बिया हो त कत्रो कोलम्बिया का पनि किन गरे सर बजे हो यहाँ दारो बने हुन्छ.
It's Sunday, so that means
एक पानी मुझे खत्म हो गया ना.
Pick up some groceries.
पोबो है सब
पानी छिर्दैन का.
पोबो में छिर्दैन यो.
हामी छु मजले दिन सर दिएको. छु त खाला डोए दिरे.
Shakil Ahmed comes back into the attack.
कति ओभरमा 13 ओभरमा 60 दिएको सम सही र
तिगर त 110 पुग्नु पर्यो नि.
It's been the most fun part.
रोहित पौडेलले नि आज त अस्ति मैले राम खेल्यो भने आज बिर राम नखेल्दा जस्तो हो.
super basic and everybody listening is going to
बुर्जीले खर्के जान्छ.
come on, but just really
बुर्जी पनि त दारी वाला हैन.
Basically. And you all have been great because I've asked 7 million questions yesterday during the match.
त्यसको लामो हान्दै लामो.
बुर्जीले सेकेन्ड नम्बरमा आउनु पर्यो.
It's made it so much more exciting.
Testing Kushal. Wanted to go
up
and over. Skidding through, staying a little low.
ठिकै दिन नदिने ग्राउन्ड चाहिँ के हो यो.
फेरि हान्दै.
get a piece
Well, he got a piece of it. It's not where he wanted it to go, but he won't mind it. He's picked up 4 runs here, Kushal Mala. He's dealing in boundaries.
Sometimes
you get lucky.
Yes, sometimes himmat bhagu मान्छेलाई साथ दिन्छ नि घुमाएर कमसेकम 4 रन त पाए नि
Ready for that. I don't think anyone was. I don't think he was. But yeah, and also this format, you know,
अलि खुट्टा चल्दैन रहेछ त्यहीबाट हान्दो रहेछ नि त्यसैले गाह्रो हुँदो रहेछ
लेभलको ड्रेस खतरा छ खेलाडी कम छैन
both ends, defense and offense.
खत्तम खेल्छ यार
फेरि हान्दे अब डर लाग्यो नि बाहिर हान्छ नि अब
यिनीहरू भेट गर्छ ओमनमा नि
राम्रो छ नि
Just trying to keep that
Nepalको
ball
बल
as
खतरा
far
हुने फेरि
away
तीनटा
from
तीनटा
the
बलमा
hands
तीनटै
of
छक्का हान्दै
Shamala, aiming for that wide off-stop line, going full and wide.
तीन बल बाँकी तीनटै छक्का
Into the 14th over here.
यो के को लागि खेलेको यो म्याच असली खेलेको
हैन फेरि यस्तो खालको स्ट्रोक कस्तो
यो म्याच किन खेलेको
यो यिनीहरू के रे
क्वालिफाई
तीनटा म्याच के रे तीनटा टिमको म्याच बनाएको है
क्वालिफाई के होइन
हैन
Once you get into it, it's pretty easy to
Twice
get
this
into it actually, and not the easiest. Yeah, there are a lot of intricacies. I suppose.
रनै लिएन सक्यो
I feel the same way with my baseball knowledge, to be honest. I mean, I find it a bit simpler than cricket for sure, but.
हो यो गिटी खतर बोल्दो रहेछ
राम्रो बोल्दो रहेछ
I like the 360 field too.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more scoring options, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fewer foul balls.
लाइट त आएन नि के हो
The skill of the batters to be able to
यिनीहरूले मन गरेको के हो
control where in the field they hit it based on the positioning.
अब आनु कुशल भुर्देलको पालो छ का चाहिँ
Oh, and that just nearly pops up.
स्पिन त खेल्नै जान्दैन छ कुशल भुर्देल
95 for 4 Nepal.
आउँदा थाहा मिल्दैन
अर्को खोज्नु पर्छ
कहाँ छ
खेल्नुको ठाउँ चाहिँ हुन्छ करणले ठिकै ठिक हो त त्यो चाहिँ के भन्नु सक्छ यहाँनिर त्यस्तो गरेर जाने खाले दिनको सन्डेको जान
You think I can get my credential to the No Frills T20 series changed to Map Honor and then have
अब आज कुशल भुर्देल कुशल मलाले नि दुईटा कुशलले कुशल देखाऊ
It's Akavilias into the attack. I'm gonna see what I can do about it. I'll speak to the organizers for you.
And I'm now rooting for Nepal. Everybody listen.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
आवाज खतर रहेछ यसको
I'm with Team Nepal.
बल टाइपको ठिक पुगिँदा
Yeah, Nepal plays Canada.
That's a tough one. That's a tough
I'll be
one.
rooting for both teams.
And there's no such thing.
I don't have, yeah, I'm living in Canada, but I don't really have the cricket. This is my first cricket tournament, so, Nepal is kind of taking me in. I might have to be a Nepal fan.
As long as you're with me when I'm standing against Lenny.
Okay. I make zero promises with that.
Played into the leg side. It's going to be another single, and this is a very disappointing side of Matt Bonner.
Is that Momo food truck here today?
Yeah, it is. I see the Momo food truck just behind the stands.
घोडा टेकेर हान्दै अब
Well, the Nepalese fans are going to be excited to hear that Matt Bonner is on their
के
side.
खेलेको
Looking for Momos, that
यार
too.
कुशलले कुशल अब मल्लले हान्नु पर्ने भुर्देलले त सक्दैन स्पिन हान्नु सक्दैन अलि जोड ल्याएन फेरि आकाशमा उडाए क्याच भयो
And it just doesn't have the distance on it. It's Kushal Mala, and he looked so good.
कुशल मल्ल काम छैन
This big moment for Oman, pegging away Nepal in regular intervals. Akib Ilyas, the skipper, picks up another wicket to his
कस्तो हानेन
name.
हाउडे
Another moonshot.
हान्यो
आकाशमा हान्छ नि कहाँ हान्छ नि फ्ल्याट हान्नुपर्छ नि
ऊ के को सँग जनाले गइसक्यो
They're good positioning, good strategy by the Oman team in the field.
No, what?
In the right place.
आउट मात्र हुन्छ
They just haven't been able to get the distance, have they? Kushal Mala goes for 30
अनि
on
एउटा मात्र हान्न सक्दो
26.
रहेछ
That
नि
we've seen now in the deep, 3 of them. just can't quite clear the boundary when they need to. Nepal 97 for 5 after 14.4, and it's going to be Gulshan Jha walking out to the middle. He's had a good 50 over series, Gulshan Jha.
I think Gulshan Jha will be
He'll want to try and
the best batter in the side. आज पनि हार छ अरे
his side still
हार
leads.
जस्तो छैन यार हार्नै सक्दैन कि हार्ने
40 runs here to be in a comfortable position.
हार्नु सक्दैन रहेछ हाम्रो नेपाली केटाले रे हाने भने चाहिँ बाउन्ड्री छेउसम्म मात्रै पुग्दो रहेछ बाहिर कटाउन सक्दैन रहेछ थाङ्ने रहेछ थाङ्ने हाम्रो नेपालको
He's
खेलाडी
bowled well today. Akib Ilyas 3 for 10 in his 2.4 overs. Had a big moment.
यस्तो खेल्ने नि यस्तो अहिले ठिक खेल्यो
Massive impact in the game overall. Always good to see
10
this
रन
bigger
दिएर
lead
3
in
विकेट
front.
लिन दिने अनि त्यस्तो त कहाँ हुन्छ भुषल भुर्तेल त पहिल्यै तर्सिँदो रहेछ
Did I miss the drinks break? I missed it.
You did. It was at the 10 over mark. There definitely was one. Actually, we talked through some of it.
Okay, because I did two
Together.
two broadcast rotations back to back. That's why.
That's the end of the 15th over. Nepal 98 for 5.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community. We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
So 5 overs made here for Nepal. They've had some really good patches.
12 ओभरमा 100 रन बनाउनु थियो र जित्ने सम्भावना हुन्थ्यो त्यही हो नेपालको टिमले 180-90 टार्गेट दियो भने कहिले नि जित्न नसक्ने रहेछ
Good strike rate. They have shuffled him down to this number 6, and Gulshan Jha back into the team. He's been in great form on this tour. They're going to try and drive Nepal up above 140. Ideally, they'd like 150. They'll need to play well to get there. Arslan Kadir joins me, Andrew Leonard, for these final 5 overs. What are your thoughts being on the first innings? Nepal's kind of difficulties with the bat continue. They just look shy of confidence.
Yeah, definitely. I think Oman hasn't let themselves down with the catches. They dropped too early on, but they've taken all their catches since. And Nepal just not able to get any momentum in their innings whatsoever. They've got starts. A couple of their players have got starts. On Anil Shah, Asif Sheikh, they both got starts. Just unable to carry on. Kushan Mala, he looked good out there as well. Just need somebody to put their hand up. Somebody to get something going for Nepal. Kushan Patel, more than the ability to do it. Same with Gulshan Jha. We saw that in the ODIs for Gulshan Jha with that 50. They've got to put their hands up here for them.
I think one of the problems is when you're adjusting to a new role, the difference between batting in the power play when there's 2 fielders outside the circle, the batting here, whether it's in the middle overs or at the death, the cheers are going around the ground for the 100 coming up. It's just a completely different mindset approach. The selection of shots that you're looking at, your range of strokes are different. So Bertel may take some adjustment. The thing that surprised me is that they've not just shifted him down here, he also didn't bowl the other day. If you think about his performances in the World Cup with his leg breaks, he was close to unplayable against South Africa. This is edged away. Now, Kalimullah didn't react quickly at all. He's right in front of us. I don't think he picked it up at first. And that slight delay in picking it up is going to cost at least a couple of runs as Jha gets a crucial boundary.
An important boundary for Nepal there. Just finding the outside edge. Ahmad Faz but all along the ground. And Kalimullah, that big frame, he's got a big long way to go down. He's just shy of Lambudai. He's not as tall as Lambudai, but he does have a long way to get down there, Lenny, and just not fast enough on that occasion.
Yeah, I think Callymul is about 6'4", 6'5", not quite the 6'9", 6'10" that Matt Bonner has got on it. Get a photo of those two later. That certainly look like brothers in arms. Yeah, Jack continues to look good, doesn't he? He's very positive with the bat right from the off. Again, oh, that's outstanding batting. Okay, you might say it was a half volley, but look at the way he's opened the face of the bats, found the gap, back-to-back boundaries, momentum coming for Nepal.
We said somebody's got to
स्थान
create
भन्ने हो क्या
I like the change from Roy Padel.
ब्याटको मुनिको बल पनि हान्न सकेन भने त के
Get him
हाल्नु
back in the team. He's a young cricketer, quality cricketer, both with bat and ball. And right now, it's with the bat, 2 back-to-back boundaries for him. Lovely shot. Shot of the day so far, Lenny?
Yeah, but you just look at the intent. There's a different intent, isn't there? He's always trying to be positive. You have to remember how young Gulshan Jah still is. Tender in years, he's been through an awful lot this summer.
I know.
That would have been 4 more, barring the right boot of Ahmed Faya's butt, who has worn it, I think, right on the toe.
Yeah, Ahmed Faya's butt limps in the best of days. He might be limping a little bit after that there as well. But saved 4 runs for his team. And you're right about the intent. I think that's one thing that we've seen, especially from the young Nepali side. They can really push, and intent doesn't have to be boundaries. Run the singles hard, get the 2s, especially with the fresh legs that they have. Push this Oman team. They're a lot more tender in age, I will say. And push them a little bit more, and that's going to build the innings. Something that we haven't really seen from Nepal so far on this tour to Canada.
Good bouncer. Just rush Jah for pace. Callymul does the fielding again down deep third. Gets us to the end of the 16th. It is 109 for 5. Remain. So 4 overs remain for Oman. There is the bowling card thus far. Probably Rafiola has not done what his captain would have liked. Great to see Aki Bilias back into bowling form. We've had a few difficulties in the ODIs, but again, I think we see this with a few leg spinners. They certainly seem to profit in the shorter format, although this time Jah gets it over the head. Again, that's additional positive intent. It's the longest corner of the ground, and he gets enough to get it.
He gets it just a little bit, didn't he? Goes to Jah. He really wanted to hit that square. Never any intention to keep that down. Wanted to get it all the way. The big boundary down there gets low and hits and launches it over deep backward square leg.
Modern ways people take on the field.
Something positive.
Ball spinning into him.
Tyrion.
Jah may not have picked it, it doesn't matter because he's smashed it high and handsome. Back-to-back 6s, pressure on Aki Bilias, and the Nepali flag, it's flying high in King City, thanks to this young man, Gulshan Jah.
Back-to-back boundaries in the last over, back-to-back big ones in this over. Gulshan Jah, he's giving those Nepali fans, the flags are waving, have a look there, they're happy with it. He's giving them something to celebrate here. Gulshan Jah, just bringing the impetus to this Nepali innings.
It's definitely the googly, wasn't it, from Aki Bilias? You could see it out of the back of the hand, but Jah just played the same stroke. Look at it there. That's the first, in fact, that's the second one. Get down on the slog sweep. Jah just measures himself. Slight change in the field. Another man to come over to the leg side.
Good.
It's full enough to not go for 6 more. Will be a single. Amazing to think of Dependra Singh Airi hidden all the way down at number 8.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. This is one of those things. So you look at that 6, what a hit that was from Gulshan Jah. Just too many options, you would say. There's a lot of all-rounders in the squad. A lot of people like Bull and back.
I think it's something Nepal fans have had a bit of frustration with because of the... I think Monty Desai wants them to have a flexible order, but some batters maybe not certain of what their roles are at times as a consequence. I think a lot of it is around trying to maintain a left-hand, right-hand combination throughout. So usually Rohit Powell would have come in at number 4, but instead they went with Mala at 4 to get the left-hander in, and then as soon as Mala departed, rather than it being Dipender Singh Airi, in comes Gulshan Jah.
Gulshan Jah proving him right at this stage. If he keeps going like this, he'll get past 150 comfortably, but he has to keep going for his team.
He's the first batter across the 2 T20s now into the second game of the No Frills T20 Cup. First batter to strike at more than 2 runs per ball, and he's done it really from the moment he walked to the crease.
Yeah, there's some turn on offer there as well. So Sandeep Lamachani, he'll be having a look. Akabili, yes, first 3 overs, took 3 for, but Gulshan Jah's taking a liking to him in this over.
Now, Kushal Patel is trying to join the party. He's got it square enough, and he gets it all the way. 6 more. It's the 3rd 6 of the over. Oman's captain taken to the cleaners in his 4th and final. The over's gone for 21. Nepal are on the charge. It's 130 for 5.
Seva is giving back to the community and making sure that the community is taken care of.
What an over that was, Arsalan Kadir, for Nepal. Is that potentially
3 छक्का
shifting?
11 मा
It's 160 odd days they're waiting for a win in international cricket. Nepal is today the day.
It's a long way to go, and what a day it would be to do it. I want to give Nepal something to cheer about. Obviously, a lot going on back home. And the fans here, they're loving this from Gulshan Jah in Nepal. Akabili, yes, he's 3 for 11 in 3 overs. He's now 3 for 32. Kushal Patel didn't get all of it, you would say, on the last ball, but you don't need to get all of it. Just a couple of centimeters beyond the boundaries, all it took. 6 runs to him.
And again, that's the shorter side for the right-hander. So that this is where the left-hand, right-hand combination comes in so cleverly. So something that we didn't see Nepal do with any effect yesterday was that sweep shot, the slog sweep. But Bertel and Jah have shown that it can be played. We didn't feel it was a bad surface yesterday. We've stayed on the same one. Still not quite sure how Nepal failed to chase down that 124 that they needed to win. They've got a lot more than that already. 3 to go. Kalimullah comes into the attack, and he's given the same treatment. It's the larger side of the ground, and it matters not. It's 6 more. It's the Gulshan Jah show in King City.
Gulshan Jah, welcome to the party. At no point was there any intention to keep this down. Up and over, there are 2 men out there. One at third man at deep point. He says, don't worry about it, I'll hit this over the rope. Gulshan Jah on a roll here for Nepal.
This is why you've got to keep the faith. We heard Matt Bonner earlier, didn't we, talking about those periods of your professional sporting career where you just can't seem to find momentum or victories, and you just got to keep pressing. That's exactly what this youngster's doing. What a tour he's having. Scores of 15, 53 and 34 in the ODIs, alongside 7 wickets with the ball. And now, right from the off, as soon as he walked to the crease, he's showing all of his dexterity and his brilliance with his left-handed batting. This is a superb innings. 31 off just 11.
And you can see the plan for Kalimullah. There's 2 men out, square the boundary on the offside. He's going to go wide and full here again. And he didn't miss by much, Lenny. Just a couple of centimeters he missed by, and it went all the way. It was enough for Gulshan Jah to get under it. But you can see the plan is clear. Wide outside the off stump, getting hit into that offside. Gulshan Jah, form that he's in, and as he's showing us, form's really confidence, isn't it, Lenny? And those couple of boundaries there, but little 6s.
You think of what he's been through. You think of St. Vincent, you think of the heartbreak, you think of the hopes and dreams of 30 plus million fans riding ultimately in that final over on his shoulders. They've never beaten a Test nation, and they came, well, agonisingly close. And actually, the way in which he was almost pilloried as the the one who didn't get Nepal over the line. It wasn't his job. They were 88 for 2, needing 4.8 runs and over with 5 overs left. They should have done that every single time. It shouldn't have come down to the last over, let alone the last ball. And actually, he hit one over the offside that went for 4, that got them to within touching distance. And then he nearly repeated the dose, it went for 2. And then the misfortune with what happened on the last ball, the ball colliding into his back, deflecting away to a fielder. I don't think you could blame him. And now he's shown his mental resilience and his brilliance with the bat. It's 4 more. Gulshan Jah putting on a clinic.
Yeah, full toss. The play's not working here for Kalimullah. He's got to change it up here. Just not finding his areas. He's missing full toss on this occasion. And Gulshan Jah moving across his stumps. Gonna hit this straight back over the bowler. And I'm not sure about the effort here, Lenny. That dive has to be put in.
He's done it twice in his short career. He went to an under-19 World Cup for Nepal in January, and he had, well, a horror show. He just couldn't get a run to save his life, and I think he went down with a lot of expectations there. Having already played so much senior international cricket, he was expected to really lead the way. Couldn't get a run, and what Monty decided there was he sent him away for a week, back home to his family, back out to the Kathmandu Valley, and he looked refreshed, and he came back and he was brilliant in the ODIs and T20Is through February, March. So I've just got to pay tribute to his mental resilience for such a young man. Really, really impressive. Going to be another wide. You can see the plan. Not easy to execute for Kalimullah. Oman, the wheels are well and truly off here.
Yeah, they're definitely. We were talking about 140, 150 a little bit earlier, Lenny. They're going to get well past this now. They're looking at 170, 180. You would have to say from here on forth the way Gulshan Jah is going. 35 off 13. You're 100% correct, Lenny. It's very difficult once you go through a hard time, not scoring any runs. He's all-rounder as well, so you've got both assets to play with, but just that confidence. And the one thing with runs will lead into his bowling as well, so he'll go into that innings with the confidence. Just need to turn it off sometimes, don't you?
But you think about the fact he's still a teenager. He's played, we'll just talk about this format firstly. He's played 33 times, 34 if you include today. This has gone a long way up. I think it's going to just about land safely. I wouldn't exactly call that an inspirational effort from Cally Cale. A great running from Gulshan Jah gets him back for 2. In those 27 innings now, across the 34 games, have a look at this. He's batted 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So it can't be easy, particularly for someone so young, to adjust to all those different things. It really can't. And you see the partnership here, 47 off 18.
And 37 of those to Gulshan Jah, 37 off 14. And I think he's given Kushal Patel some confidence as well, the way he's come out and struck this ball. But you're right, the only consistency there is change, isn't it? You don't know where you're going to bat, and he's come in.
But you talk about how difficult that is, particularly as a young cricketer. But for him to have that, I suppose, dexterity, that flexibility to be able to adjust and adapt to a situation. Okay, he didn't get his side over the line ultimately against South Africa, and that was where the biggest microscope was. There was hundreds of thousands of fans gathered in public parks across all of Nepal, dreaming of a first ever win over a Test nation. And you couldn't come closer. It was probably the game of the whole tournament in many ways. But for him to have that resilience, to come back, play the way in which he has here, it shows a great self-belief. It also shows, I think he's got good people around him, and Monty Desai, who manages these young men so cleverly, so tenderly, and with such compassion. I know it's been a difficult period, 160 games without a win. But there's going to be brighter days ahead. Kalimullah wants the LBW, he's almost imploring the umpire. But given not out, wait for the signal, given his leg boys. What happened here, Arslan? Did he get outside the line, maybe?
And we'll have a look. See if we can have a look here in a second. But Kalimullah, he was pleading, he wants that wicket. Just have a look. Yeah, it certainly looks well. That's going to miss 6 stumps, in my opinion.
Good decision again. He's been exceptional. I'll tell you, the 2 home umpires.
दामी गरे गुलशनले कन्फिडेन्टमा खेल्दैछ एकदम अर्कोहरु चाहिँ अलिकति डिफेन्सिभ माइन्डमा नेगेटिभ माइन्ड रहेछ नि अलिकति
Looks great, doesn't he?
He's looking good.
Kusin ako.
We'll be happy if we look
Kalo
like
mo
that.
lang ande ako.
I'm sure I'm not going to look as good as Ireland without them. So, like, if I get to my 60s, look at all the air miles I'm clocking up, I might not even get there. This has been an expensive over, lots of extras. And we saw again Canada and Nepal exceptional with that yesterday. They kept things very, very tight. I think Oman, a little bit like Nepal, they're going through a difficult period. They might be getting the game taken away from them here. This one squirts away. Should be a couple more. So he's already moved to 39 from just 15 deliveries. What an impact he's had in this game. It's 149 for 5. Partnerships up, and it actually came initially off just 19 balls, but now 52 off 20.
It's really put in the ascendancy, you would have to say. Being asked to bat first, being asked to put a score on the board, his partnership has taken them over what you would say is a par total on this wicket. And he's just looking to get more and more. Put the real pressure on him on.
I was also talking to Matt yesterday about the kind of one big over that can change the game, and you just sense that he's just slapped away, going to be 4 more. Everything must go right now, and Bertel is showing a little bit of form in his
हारे पनि हिजोको जस्तो लास्ट जस्तो हार्नु नहुने भयो आज राम्रो खेल्दैछ अब भुर्तेललाई पनि जोस आएछ हान्दैछ
Precariously close on a number of occasions as Canadian fans. Anytime there's a close Canada-Nepal game, Nepal always ends up on top. So I was a little bit satisfied that we were able to get over the line. You brought up the South Africa game. They've been close. They've been so close. They just need that one game, and you can see them just kicking on from there, especially for a young side. That confidence is going to breathe through that squad.
150's come up now as well. Gets away with a clever piece of bowling, bowled into the surface, just giving us the one for the over. Yeah, I had a good chat to Monty Desai this morning, actually, and we were, being honest with you, we were mainly talking about, we'll just say, distressed both of us were about a place that we both adore, Kathmandu and Lalapur, the twin cities that make up the capital, the devastation back there. We were mainly talking about that, but he did say to me at the end, Lenny, you know something, one of the big things I always try to say to my boys, it's not necessarily about the results. That's obviously what attracts the attention. It's all about how we carry ourselves, how we conduct our processes, and the development that we're making. And I think he's continuing to see that development as really aggressive running from Bertel is going to get them back not just for 2, but they'll get back for 3. And that's one of the biggest chances today. There's nothing quite like a crowd going, and that is going to be given. And there's 3 runs, maybe some bat involved.
I'm not too sure if Vishal Bertel got anything on that, but he's got the runs to his name. Yeah, a little comedy there in the end. They come through for 3. Not much fast, but he's not a happy camper right now out there, I'll tell you that.
We were calling him, what were we calling him? The baddie in the movies, right? The villain. Ahmed Faiz.
Let's have a look here. Did you get anything on this lane?
Don't know. I think if anything, it might have flicked the pad, but ultimately it's given us runs. Bertel will take it. I actually like that aggressive piece of running. You might have said, okay, well, hold on, it would have been out with a direct hit, but they've got wickets in hand, they've got Depender Singari up their sleeve, and they turn 1 into 3. And just a slight break in play. All of a sudden, the wheels well and truly off, aren't they, for Oman? There's been some good bowling, but for me, I think their fielding's let them down, those drop catches, and look at the economy rates of everyone, really, with the exception of Ishan Maksud. Is that a miscount? Why has he only bowled 3 overs?
Yeah, you would have to say it is on net. I think they wanted to get the balls in. The other one that they've been really let down by is that 1 over from Rafiola. He was somebody they're looking for. Came in from Mehran Khan. We saw what Mehran Khan did at the World Cup, especially in the middle of death overs. He was somebody that Oman counted on, and he has just been nobody that they can rely on at all. There's the first drop catch from the man that's with the ball in hand right now. The first over.
I vote for that when he had to go to Anzi. I know you were on call at the time. I'm going to come back live with you. That was the second drop catch. As it's a perfect Yorker. That's where they're trying to nail the depth. They're trying to hit that block hole. Almost impossible to play when you get it right. Good look at the second drop catch. This for me was more unforgivable and a completely just a misjudgment in the deep, wasn't it?
Yeah, just absolutely no balance now whatsoever. That's a replay Kyle will not want to watch later, I'll tell you that, Lenny.
The only thing I'll say is, on this outfield, it is quite undulating, and it can be difficult to kind of get your bearings. It's a bit up and down, isn't it? And it's a bit soft, quite heavy out there too.
Lenny, we're playing international cricket.
I'd have come to that.
Yeah. I'd have my money on the ball.
We're to the leg side, protection out there, so it should just be the single this time. Can Oman chase this down if Nepal end up with, let's say, 170?
They've got the ability. You wouldn't put them out of it. The one thing I've learned about associate cricket, right, and I think you know this better than anybody, do not count your eggs before they hatch. No. What's the saying there? I'm going to ruin it, but your chickens before they hatch. There we go. I think that's it.
Well, Manali Patel's claiming that it's don't count the chickens before that. So that's probably wrong then.
Yeah.
It'll be some Canadianism.
Lenny, you've got Lambudai on your side. I'm going to be up on Ollie's side here. She's 100% right.
I love the Lambudai shapes. Can't be maple syrup
for the sap runs.
Okay, gotta get some maple syrup before I go home. Final ball of the 19. Full toss, popped down the ground, but protection out there. Going to be just one over remaining. It is a 9-run 19th. It's 158 for 5.
TV is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Outside! TV, ready for you.
So one over remains. 158 for 5. It's the highest score of this No Frills T20 Cup. Been, well, a virtuoso performance. Yes, credit to Kushal Bertel for the way he's teamed up with Gulshan Jah, but the youngster, the teenager, he's completely changed this match, hasn't he?
He certainly has. He's put all the momentum on Nepal's side. He's taken them over a par score. He's put them in the lead here, you'd have to say. Just a change of tactics here from Akabilias. Kalimullah, he had his hat off. He was ready to come in, and it looks like it's going to be the left arm spin of Shakil Ahmed to bowl the 20th.
Yeah,
I don't know about this.
I can understand the concept because I don't think it's an injury for Kalimullah. He was good to go. But it feels a bit like pace on the ball has kind of gone the distance, isn't it?
Surprised this morning they left out Imran Khan. I would have to say he didn't have a great time in the ODIs.
Yeah,
but this is his format.
This is him. This is T20 cricket, and he had a brilliant World Cup, absolutely outstanding World Cup, and that was Oman's last T20Is, and that was in what was a pretty disappointing campaign, probably barring the thrilling tie against Namibia. They did have a really good innings against Australia too. In fairness, they restricted Australia very heavily. In fact, they could well have won that game at some stages of it. Shakil Ahmed will come in to bowl his 4th. Bertel will look to hit straight, you would suspect. Comes across it, protection out there, and holds out. That's a good catch held in the deep, and an interesting celebration. Maybe one of, maybe quiet down, Nepal fans. We've had enough cheering from you.
That's Imran Khan out there, isn't it? And he was right in front of the hospitality tent against the Nepal fans. He was having a long conversation with them. So I agree, but Kushal Bertel looking to go over the top. It's a big boundary. That's the bigger boundary for the right-hander. I like it. Lenny's adding a little spice to the competition.
6-wicket falls. It is 158 for 6 as Bertel, he departs for 20.
You were asking for him a little bit earlier there, Lenny. Devinder Singh Ari, he's going to walk out there now. He's got 5 balls. But you've got to say, probably maybe push for the single and just let Gulshan Jah have the last 4 deliveries.
Yeah, I think it's a funny one, isn't it? Devinder Singh Hari is a man who's hit 6 sixes and an over. He can clear any boundary anywhere in the world. But actually his job here, because of the fact that it's Shakil Ahmed bowling and the hot streak that Gulshan Jah's on, he's got to get a single. And he's so quick. He can, any bat on ball here, basically to anywhere in the 30-yard circle is one. So no need to have a swing. Just get some bat on it and get Gulshan Jan on for the last 4 balls. That is not a particularly clever piece of cricket, I have to say. Just need to drop and run. Irie's maybe the
सिंगल
fastest.
लिएर गुलसनलाई दिनुपर्छ ओ यस्तो लाटा कि एम खेल्दछ नि यार
Good start from Ahmed.
Again, the momentum has been on their side for the last 4 overs since we've come on air, Lenny.
Tries to get 6. He may well have got it down the ground. He says, Lenny, you eat your words. I'm going to pongo him all the way for a maximum. What a strike from the one and only Dependra.
What do we know, Lenny? What do we know? There's a reason we're here and they're out there, Lenny. And Depinder Singh Ari says, I'll launch this over the top. Short boundary there. Gets it over the side screen. And we might have to get another ball on field.
I do think this is something Nepal have throughout the order. I know there's been in different performances, lots of starts from their batters. They have definitely made a conscious decision to try and hit straighter. And that is reading the conditions. They're finally adjusting to those conditions and recognising, hold on, we've got a big disparity with the boundary distances, particularly from this end. I also think it's a misstep from Oman, bowling the 20th and final from this end. 57 metres is all it is straight. Ari goes bang for 6. And he's going to go bang again. This is massive.
Oh my god जङ्गलमा पुऱ्यायो आज चाहिँ
New balls, please. The call. Irie. Oh yes.
Irie, 9 ball 50 he had. He doesn't need that today. He just wants to keep launching them for 6. And he's doing it so well. You're right, Lenny. They're hitting straight. And I thought that might be the advantage for them. He spent a lot of time here in Canada over the last few months. And look at this. Bang goes Depinder Singh Ari.
That is right out of the screws. That retaining net there, never great with height. It's probably about 20 metres high, if not maybe 25. And that has gone soaring, not only over at Arsalan, but actually continuing to go up as it goes by it. And that is an extraordinary stroke. And look at the swagger of Depinder Singh Ari. You have to love the tiger. He's at it again.
What a brilliant cricketer he is. Bat, ball in the field. He's dynamic, and he's showing us why. 170 for 6 now, Lenny. 19.4, 2 balls to go. Can he go again? I suspect he will go again. He's not going to slow down here. It's a brilliant effort from Depinder Singh.
Well, 170 is crossed, and this is much more like it. I'll tell you something, the curation team here are going to breathe a heavy sigh of relief. They thought it was an excellent pitch yesterday. They couldn't understand why it was 120, played 110. But it's been very different today, and credit to them for sticking with this same surface. 2 balls remaining. Irie is going to get 4 more. 6, 6, 4. What a little cameo. He says to Monty Desai, don't hide me away at number 8. I need more balls than that. This is a brilliant finish from Nepal.
Depinder Singh Ari. He's throwing the kitchen sink, the oven, everything at that one. Just gets the top at the edge. Zishan Maksud had no chance. 4 more runs to the total. 1 ball to go here. This is going again, Lenny. There's no chance. This is going again.
Well bowled, Shakil Ahmed. I think they'll probably try and run 2. And Depinder Singh Ari is so quick. Look at him. He's going to get there. It's quite ridiculous how fast he is, and he'll sprint off with a swagger in his step as he's pumped 18 from just 5 deliveries. Who are we to say he should
ल दामी खेल्यो 177 टार्गेट आज चाहिँ नेपालले अलि देखायो I'll see you everybody in second inning. My battery also getting down. आज त जित्नु परिहाल्यो नि यति बनाएर नि जितेन भने त अनि बलरहरूले फेरि दुलाई खान्छ ब्याटिङरले आज अलि काम गर्यो आज कस्तो खेल्नुपर्छ कि अलि ब्याट्सम्यानहरूले अलिकति हिम्मत लगाएर अलि पोजिटिभ माइन्डमा खेल्नुपर्छ कि अलि धेरै डिफेन्सिभ माइन्ड भएछ हाम्रो ब्याट्सम्यानहरूको सेकेन्ड इनिङ हेर्ने कि नहेर्ने केटाहरू हेर्ने भए म लाइभ दिन्छु नत्र भने म लाइभ दिँदिनँ सेकेन्ड इनिङ हेर्नेहरू कति छ कमेन्ट्स गर्नुहोस् ल ल त्यसो भए त हेर्ने भए म सेकेन्ड इनिङ्स स्टार्ट हुँदै लाइभ गर्छु ल अहिले म अफ गर्छु ब्याट्रिङ सकिन लागेछ
But Akabilias, when he came on, he was 3 for 11 off 3 overs. Remember, Lenny, his last over, Gulshan Jha took a liking to. And the rest of the bowlers, Shakil Ahmed, the real disappointment was Rafiullah, somebody they were looking for. But I think they missed a trick here, Lenny. Look at Zishan Maksud. 1-0, did not bowl his